AMC is starting the week on a pretty green note because for the fourth time in a row, the stock is actually outperforming the market by a big gap. And in this video, guys, I'm going to go over exactly what happened and what the news are saying about AMC stock on the street, especially what Adam Aaron tweeted this morning around performance of the big office and how big it is for the entire industry, more specifically for AMC moving forward. So let's get into the details, guys. When you jump into the chart today, I mean, right off the gate, boom, a little bit pulling back a little bit at the opening, and then boom, all the way breaking over that $43, pulling back a little bit after, but closing strong above 43. Now, when you look at the option chain, you can see that for the moment we are still sitting around 40,000 calls in the money, expiring on October 22nd. That will be this coming Friday. But more importantly, when you look at the actual parity, we have 40,000 calls currently in the money versus only 3,600. So very bullish sentiment from the technicals, and I will expect this based on where we close on Friday to actually fuel some delta edging from the market makers who are actually selling these options in order to bring some additional buying pressure here and potentially closing the gaps on and putting the pressure, some additional pressure onto the little shorts that came in here around maybe the $50 a share. But we're going to talk about that in a separate video coming out later today. Now, when you jump into some of the major information, some of the major numbers, I mean, the theaters are crushing the big office once more, and we're getting closer and closer to the numbers we had prior to the pandemic. For example, Halloween Kills, new movie that started a couple of weeks ago, I think last week, pushes US theaters to third straight $100 million weekend. So this is the third weekend in a row that only this single movie, it's pulling more than, almost $100 million per weekend. That is definitely a very good sign, because not only it means that there is a confirmation on the trend we've been experiencing and observing since the beginning of the month of October and even the last September, when we had this big tickets movie coming into the theaters again. So this is definitely a good sign when you look at the fundamental. I know lots of you will tell me, but hey, this is not a fundamental play. But hear me out for just a second and bear with me, and you will see exactly how this can fuel, big buying pressure coming from the suits just because of the fundamentals and actually getting us closer to the short squeeze. Now, when you jump into this other news from another movie, Eternals first day advance tickets beating Shang-Chi and Black Widow, AMC's biggest day one pre-sales of year. So when you jump into the details, you will see that the pre-sales, advanced sales, because this movie is actually going to be airing, I think, November 5, but people have been actually buying this in advance, and the pre-sales numbers are pretty good. They are pretty solid, and they're actually a little bit challenging both Shang-Chi and Black Widow, which also crushed the numbers of the box office when they came out a couple of months ago. So when you see Adam Aaron tweeting this, praise be, October movie ticket sale results show cinemas are finally on the rebound. First 2 weeks of October, domestic industry box office grosses are more than $300 million and the biggest 14-day total since February of 2020. That was before the pandemic and the lockdowns really put the whole industry and the whole country on the knees. So how is this even a good news? Because it's all tied to the fundamentals. Well, guys, first of all, when you look at the whole narrative from what the short sellers used in order to bring this downward, it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear that the whole story, the whole narrative, the whole driver of the short sale of AMC is now definitely on the trash. The confirmation got from the numbers that we are going back to the pre-pandemic level. And keep in mind, this is not even thanks to some of the shifts into the business and some getting into some more revenues. I'm talking about the gaming industry. I'm talking about, accepting cryptocurrency as a form of payment, but also getting into the sports industry and attracting a different type of audience into AMC theaters. So this is to say If at this point the numbers of the box office are showing we are going back to the pre-pandemic levels, is because people are going back to the theaters. And I say this multiple times. It's not because we have Uber Eats and DoorDash that is going to stop people from actually cooking at home. All right. So it's the exact same thing here. It's not because you do have Netflix and Disney and Discovery Plus that is going to stop people from actually getting their ass out in order to go and watch a good movie in a theater. All right. So this is actually going to be very interesting, because now when you actually listen to what the shorts had to say in order to, how do you explain shorting a company that was supposed to go down and now it's thriving? It doesn't make sense. So now I'm expect the manipulation to actually remove a lot of sense, and attract some more people that are not even close to what is happening here behind the scenes. And maybe that's going to actually bring us to a situation where we see some more people buying from the retailers and also the suits. So stay tuned, because very interesting week for AMC moving forward.